One team is 4-0. That's the Philadelphia Eagles. Another team is 3-1. That's the Dallas Cowboys. But the 3-1 team has started a backup quarterback the last 3 games. Undefeated with the backup quarterback. Eagles undefeated with the starting quarterback. 2 incredibly impressive starts to the season, all things considered. Shady, you love the Eagles. You bled for the Eagles. The leading rusher for the Eagles, 15,000 yards. Who's had a more impressive start to the season? Is it the Cowboys at 3-1 with Cooper Rush? You're a guy, Cooper Rush.
Good player.
Or
QB1.
Is it the Eagles?
It's obviously the Eagles. Are you serious? The Philadelphia Eagles, baby. When you watch the Eagles, we're electrifying. On offense, on defense. You talk about putting this team together. We didn't know what it would look like. I was part of a team we put together. They call it the Dream Team, right? You had Nnamdi Asomugha, you had Asante Samuels, DRC, you had myself, Deshaun Jackson, Michael Vick, backups, Vince Young. We had an all-star team, right? And we wasn't no undefeated team.
4-12, I believe.
Come on, 4-12. But the Philadelphia Eagles, they're not that. They're a superstar team, and they're getting it done. 4-0. Now, that's very impressive.
Very impressive.
Very impressive, brother. And I'm looking at you.
Shady wants me to argue with him, but I agree. I agree.
You agree?
Yes, I do.
How and why?
I thought the Philadelphia Eagles would be a good team. I thought they would be in the mix. I thought they had a chance to get into the playoffs like they did last year, where they got dog walked. I thought that was kind of what we were talking about. They look like one of the best 2 or 3 teams in the league, and you can make the case that they are the best team in the NFC right now. Honestly, it's not even hard to make that case. I don't know that I saw this degree of success coming. And it's a long season. Like, there's going to be bumps in the road. I didn't see 4-0 coming. I didn't see Jalen Hurts looking like an NFL MVP candidate.
That's right.
He does.
Right.
I got to call it like I see it.
Your eyes work.
It's more impressive just because I don't know that I thought the Eagles could reach these types of heights. And that sounds kind of silly because it's only 4 games. But I expect this team to be in the mix among the top 2-3 teams in the NFC based on what we've seen so far.
Joy, talk to me. More impressive. I don't know what just happened to my pen.
Dave, that meant a lot, Dave.
That's live TV.
That meant a lot.
I did it for you, Shady.
That meant a lot.
More impressive, Cowboys or Eagles?
The Eagles, undefeated, never lost.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give more credit to overachieving than I am to actually achieving.
Right.
The Eagles are 4-0.
That's a good line.
We have to acknowledge that they've had 4 games like everybody else, and they have won all of them. Are there other teams that have been impressive? Sure. Is what the Cowboys has done impressive without their starting quarterback? Sure. But the Eagles are the ones winning the games. So I have to give credit to them being undefeated at this point. We're looking for things and holes and worrying about all these different teams. We're looking for reasons that the Eagles will struggle with, right? And they haven't done it yet.
But Shady, you say hate. There's a difference in my mind between hate and analysis. Hate is when you see something and you just gonna jock on their style.
Here we go.
Analysis is trying to really be like, you know what? What are some of the potholes that might be in the ground? And you know Philadelphia got potholes. What are some of the potholes that might be in the ground that I can't even see? Let me ask you this. Are you more impressed by Jalen Hurts being undefeated? Or are you more impressed by undrafted 2017 quarterback Cooper Rush being undefeated? Let me change the question a little bit for you and talk about both your loves.
Okay, I'll give a little love to the Cowboys. I got to go with Cooper Rush. I know Jalen had it in him, right? We see him have some success in college. We seen a couple games last year he had some success in the NFL, beat some pretty good teams. I got to go with Cooper Rush because when Dak Prescott got hurt, everybody's, oh, my God, we got to get a quarterback. Yeah, let's call San Fran. Is Jimmy G available? No. And I was the guy that said, give him a shot, give him a chance. The same way you gave Dak a chance with Tony Romo, give Cooper Rush a chance. And he's doing everything with his chance.
Now, Dave, how are you not marveling over what Cooper Rush has done, even more so than what Jalen Hurts has done? If somebody were to tell you, America, you, Joy, you, Dave, that the Eagles would be undefeated, playing the Detroit Lions, who had the top pick last year, the Jacksonville Jags, who had another top pick last year, the Commanders with
it's the NFL, brother. It's the NFL now.
It absolutely is.
Okay.
But I was a different player than you when we both played in the NFL, so let's not act like everything's equal in the NFL. You significantly better than your boy. Or whoever else the Eagles played. Or looking at the Dallas Cowboys, would you not – I truly don't know. Giants.
Forget them. Forget them.
Would you not say, like, yo, you know what? Vikings. Would you not say, yo, you know what? What the Cowboys have done is actually just as, if not more impressive, given who they've done it with.
Two thoughts. One, and I can't let this go until we see something else. The Cowboys trotted out there in week 1 with the team that they wanted to field. Well, forget Cooper Rush for a second. They had Dak for 55 minutes. That was the team that they went into the season with, like, we got it. They got dog walked. They had the worst week 1 of the entire NFL. They looked like chumps. And I can't let that go completely from my mind, especially, again, when you consider 2 of these 3 wins are against the Giants and the Commanders. Come on now. And on top of that, and then I think your expectations change a little bit, right? Cooper Rush has been phenomenal. It's one of the stories of the season so far. Your expectations change, though, if the Cowboys were 20th in offense, 22nd in passing offense, scoring 20 to 23 points a game. If they were doing that with Dak Prescott, you're saying, ooh, why did they give Dak all this money? But since it's Cooper Rush, you're like, this is awesome. These guys are great.
That's a good point.
So it's very impressive. It's not as impressive to me as undefeated top 3 offense in the league, top 3 efficiency at everything, first in the league in sacks. Like, the Eagles are just doing everything great right now. You can't argue with that.
Joy, get in on that one.
Why is it impressive that Dallas has beaten Washington, and it's not impressive that the Eagles have beaten Washington?
Talk to him, Joy.
It's not. For me, to me, I'll say this. The most impressive win in the NFC thus far, in my mind, Cowboys beating the Bengals. That is the most impressive win. Because the Bengals were coming off a Super Bowl.
The Bengals beat a Dolphins team without Tua and the Jets so far this season.
But the Bengals were coming.
The Super Bowl effect.
You said why? Coming off of a Super Bowl, coming off of a week 1 loss
to the Steelers.
So they're going to be hungrier. You know,
4 or 5 picks, something like that.
Agreed. But that, to me, makes it harder to beat them because that week of practice was going to be terrible.
I'm not saying that it's – listen, a win is a win, okay? Right. And that's where we are at this point in the season. When we get further into the season and we can really see who's actually really in the playoff hunt and who's dealing with injuries that they're not going to be able to come back from and what's really going to start affecting the postseason, then we can probably examine that closer. But with 4 games in, this isn't SEC football. You have to play who's on your schedule. And that is a division win for the Cowboys. It's a division win for the Eagles. So how is it more important for the Cowboys than it is for the Eagles? And they beat them more convincingly.
To me, that's not what I'm saying. The Eagles beating the Commanders, the Cowboys beating the Commanders, same thing. What I'm saying is the Cowboys win over the Bengals is more impressive to me. I look at the Cowboys. They did not have Michael Gallup. Yep. The Cowboys have not had Tyron Smith. The Cowboys do not have a left guard because that left guard got hurt. I look at the Eagles. Your Eagles, A.J. Brown, been out there. Devontae Smith, been out there. Miles Sanders, been out there. Dallas Goedert, been out there. Jason Kelsey, been out there. Mailata had been out there. Darius Slay had been out there. The Eagles had their roster fully loaded.
But the Eagles are also putting up great performances.
That's true.
We talk a lot about Cooper Rush, but his actual numbers are not that impressive. Now, the defense's numbers have been impressive. Again, what's impressive about Cooper Rush is that he's not making the mistakes that most backup quarterbacks make that put them behind, and then they have to win in spite of the backup quarterback. And he deserves credit for that. But the Eagles going out and winning these games and in the fashion in which they are winning is more impressive than, to Dave's point, a Dallas team who got wiped in week 1, who still has that same roster and is doing this with a backup quarterback against the Giants and the Commanders.
Then, Shady,
we don't think a lot.
Let's get to the nitty-gritty. Let's get to the real nitty-gritty of it all. If the Cowboys were to play the Eagles this week, and by the way, they playing each other next week.
Right.
If the Cowboys were to play the Eagles this week, how much confidence do you have? I know you're a betting man. I ain't going to put your business on Front Street. But how much confidence do you have that your Eagles would just walk all over the Cowboys? Dave, I'm going to come to you next, so get your thoughts ready.
Walk over the Cowboys. I think we all will agree that the Eagles probably win that game, right?
Yeah.
Dallas guy says yes.
Yes, Dallas guy says yes.
So to answer your question, this is an easy one for me. Yes, I think we will dominate them. We've been dominating everybody. So I didn't want to chime in a little bit, but since you asked me, I got to talk about it. When you watch football, I don't really look at like the teams, right? Because the NFL, we're all professionals, right? Now, granted, some teams are better than others, but it's how you beat on them, though. If you dominate them up front, which we've been doing, if you passing the ball well, which we've been doing, running the ball well, on defense getting sacks, turnovers, like that's dominating football. And that matters most.
I guess call me Nick Saban then, because maybe I'm just not pleased.
NFL.
I know I'm saying in the mindset of maybe I'm just not pleased with victory. Because I don't look at a 38-35 win over the Lions as domination.
You watched that game, right?
Yep.
They didn't get dominated.
The defense, we both got dominated.
We dominated them. We dominated them, and then they came back late in the game.
They did.
And in football, the hardest thing in football, we all know this, is we have a big lead to maintain it. Because now the playbook is gone. Now it's like, okay, let's run the ball.
And the Lions have been putting up those numbers against numbers against everyone.
Correct.
Come on now.
But you can't say it's domination if somebody puts up 35 on you. That's what I'm getting to.
You have to
in no
account
way,
for
shape, or
garbage time numbers.
It's a 3-score game in the second half.
Thank you. That's all I'm asking.
You have to account for garbage time numbers. There was no chance that
I'm
Detroit
just saying,
was coming back
I've
from
never
that.
had a defensive coordinator been like, hey, it's all good. They gave up the 35 in garbage
the defensive coordinator
time.
wants to put foots on necks, and that's understandable.
And you play in most teams, when you're up by a big lead, what do? You play soft.
Of course.
You
I'll
play
give you that.
soft.
I'll give you that.
Soft, vanilla running plays, run the clock, defense, no
Basic
mistakes, don't let
defenses.
nobody beat you deep. You know these things.
But then
Come on.
they beat the Vikings 24-7.
That was domination.
Okay.
That was domination.
Washington 24-8, and we know what happened in the Jacksonville game as
They
well,
haven't
despite that score
really
as
had to
well. It was
sweat a
29,
game
21.
yet.
Yes.
They haven't really been.
Whose fault is that?
No, I'm complimenting.
Oh, okay.
I appreciate Shady over here. I was like, yes, I think Dallas would lose that game, and he's like, they would dominate. I'm like, I didn't go as far as dominate.
Yeah,
That's
and
hard.
I don't need
That's
them.
hard.
We're not on the same page.
Wait, let me pause. Eagles haven't had to sweat a game yet.
Yeah.
I believe Joy gave us a stat yesterday that since Cooper Rush has come in,
Yes, she did.
they have only been trailing by 5.5 minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
And what, 3 points? Was it 3 points?
They trailed for 11 minutes in the last 3 games total.
11 minutes in the last 3 games.
Total.
So Cooper Rush and the Cowboys haven't had to sweat yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's because of the defense.
Sure, I'm not saying who or what it's not because of.
I gotta take a little issue.
But they did not dominate any of those games. You can't compare what the Eagles have done against their opponents to what the Cowboys have done in the last 3 games.
I would argue
say that the
they
Cowboys
dominated the
It
Commanders.
was never more than 7 points that they were down.
You wouldn't say they dominated the Commanders? Like Carson Wentz was like running for his life.
No,
The defense did. I'm saying we're talking about with the Eagles as a whole team performance.
Right.
We're talking about the offensive side of the ball and the defensive
I
side
can
of
see
the ball.
that. I can get on board with
Better
that.
see that.
I just can't because I can't because I look at it as a collective. Like, to me, the Cowboys were in control of the entire Bengals game. The Cowboys were in control of the entire
I can't let that slide, though. It was a walk-off field goal. They won the game on the last play.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it goes to overtime. Like, that is sweating. That is the death. Mike McCarthy sitting there on the sideline like, oh, my God, I hope this goes in. Like, that is sweating. That is the definition of it.
If I'm not mistaken, were the Cowboys ever trailing in that game?
No, but they almost gave up a 17-3 lead to the Bengals.
But not trailing and dominating are 2 different things. They were only ever down by 7 points. They were down for 11 minutes by 7 points. That's not the same thing as what's been going on with the Eagles on the offensive side of the ball. The Eagles have dominating offensive statistics so far this year.
I love
the Dallas
Joy's vibe
Cowboys
right now.
do not.
Love your vibe right now.
But it sounds like I'm down on the Cowboys, and I'm not. I'm just saying they're on 2 different levels here.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't go as far as to say that the Eagles would dominate the Cowboys because the defense for the Cowboys has been so great so far this season. But I don't need them to either because it's a division game that the Eagles usually lose.
Are they on 2 different
They do.
levels?
Shady.
The last, 2 years? Yeah.
That's
We
2
have-
years
That's
worth of
usually-
results.
I mean, we didn't have a quarterback. We had a young quarterback.
Okay, I'm
Now he's
Swept
arrived.
last
Now he's arrived. Now he's
Shady,
arrived.
I'm picking the Eagles
All right,
to
well,
win.
let's listen. Let's watch. I talk about my birds, and we good.
Or, because again, say what you will, I try to be as objective as possible, regardless of who cut me my checks. Eagles fans, be mad all you want. I just try to be objective. Are the Eagles and Cowboys, Dave, I'm coming to you for this, are they in 2 different brackets? I fervently do not believe so. When I turn on the tape, I do not believe that the Eagles and Cowboys are in that vastly different of brackets. Clearly, the quarterback play is different, but I do not think that the Eagles and the Cowboys are just in completely different tax brackets. Where do you stand?
I think this Dallas defense has some really special potential, and I think that is what makes me think that they're not. Like, if they were leakier, I mean, they haven't given up 20 points yet in a game. That is rarefied air. I don't care who you're playing. This is the NFL, like we keep saying. So that defense is what makes me think that it's close, and that's like, I wish we could skip Cowboys-Rams. I don't even care. I want to watch Cowboys-Eagles. I want to see how Jalen Hurts does against that group. I want to see if Dak can play, because I don't think he's going to play this week. It's going to be fantastic. I think it's close. I give the nod to the Eagles right now, but I can't wait to watch.
I'll be at the game, so I'll let you know what's going on.
All right. Well, if you're going, I'm going. Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right.
Are we? Did we just
I don't
become
know.
group trip again?
I don't think we could go together.
Group trip? Yeah, no, that's.
Is that Dave? Yeah, that's him. Get him. That's him. Philadelphia's not to play with, baby.
Yo.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.